Are the Steelers done? Will there be any change in Drew Brees or Tom Brady's legacy depending off of this weekend's game, win or lose? Who was the MVP for this past Super Wildcard weekend? Welcome back to MadMizzy Sports, featuring the guest host, my cousin, Vern Knowledge. What up, squad? MizzyWorld Entertainment is excited to present another episode of MadMizzy Sports featuring a guest host, Vern Knowledge, where we're going to speak on this, basically review this past Super Wildcard Weekend, the first Super Wildcard Weekend in the NFL and NFL history. You dig what I'm saying? So, to start it off, Vern, are the Steelers done? Are the Steelers done with Big Ben? What was that?
I'm not. Listen, the Steelers aren't done. I'm not going to say that they're done. You would be naive to think that you're done after the 11-0 start. It means something. It's not significant to the point where they were good enough to win the Super Bowl, obviously. But I mean, you don't win 11 games straight in the NFL if you're not good. You feel what I'm saying? So,
no.
I think they're a very good football team, which is why I don't think they're done. Is Big Ben done?
That's another discussion?
No, I don't think Big Ben is done just yet. For personal reasons, I'm a big fan of Big Ben. I would like to see Big Ben try another year. I don't think he's done again. He led the 11-0 team. They played well, obviously. So I do think that they're still good with Big Ben. And then it's like, I mean, who are they going to go get at this point that's going to be better than Big Ben right now?
True.
You see what I'm saying? So that's another aspect to it.
They definitely don't have the next stepping stone you would think at quarterback in the organization. So it would be a move or a draft pick if it were to be something to where they're moving on. In my opinion, I say no, they're not done. Of course, the Steelers aren't done, but it is something to look towards as far as divisional. When you see it, two AFC North teams win a wild card game, and the Steelers aren't one. So that is something to say as far as how tough that division is getting, how tough it is, and they are not one of the older teams. They are very young with the wide receivers, but they have an older quarterback. He's not in it as long as Baker is going to be in it, as long as Lamar is going to be in it. Like Vern was saying, he's got another probably 1 or 2 years in him, but he's in the older, especially, and then you think about you got Joe Burrow out there too. So no, they're not done. I'm saying yes, Big Ben is dwindling down. I wouldn't say he's done, but it's definitely something to look towards as far as how tough that division is going to be moving forward over the next probably decade or so. You know what I'm saying? All right, so the next question is, since you beat me, we had a personal bet all season. If the Pats was going to make the playoffs better than the 7th seed, I had to pay up, and I paid up. But since you had the intuition to take them to go into the playoffs, they have won their first playoff game. What is your take from that first playoff game? And do you think a win or loss for Tom Brady or Drew Brees would affect their legacy this upcoming game?
Well, thank you for the cash.
Fuck you.
But like I was saying before we even when we was chilling, I just felt that at some point Tom Brady, being the GOAT that he is, bad.
Go ahead.
That he would get it together with that amount of talent around him. This is probably the best talent he's ever had around him. Way better than he's ever had in New England. I mean, not on offense.
I would debate that.
Well, I mean, except for the Randy Moss years, except for that. And
exactly. You had 3 number 1 wide receivers. But go ahead.
Randy Moss was at the career.
20 touchdowns. But go ahead. We're not going to go through this debate. Go ahead.
But I think that, Mike Evans, Gronk back, the run game, they got a crazy run game. I just felt that Bruce Arians is an offensive-minded coach. I just thought that eventually they would get it together, which they did to a certain extent. I don't think they got it to the point where I thought they would at the beginning of the season when I initially made the bet. So I don't think that they're like a Super Bowl team just yet. I mean, we'll see. But they gotta overcome the Saints that beat them twice in the regular season very convincingly too. So that we'll see what happens in the Saints game. As my opinion of them after the Saints game, but like I said, I don't think they're like Super Bowl ready yet. But I do think you know, I do think we'll see what type of team they will be after the Saints game.
Okay,
for sure.
So what about the legacy thing? Do you think?
The legacy thing? I think. I mean, obviously, I'm gonna say I think Tom Brady's legacy is solidified either way, win or loss. A loss, I don't think it would affect him in any way. I think a win would only, make his legacy even more crazy. Obviously, if he goes on to win another Super Bowl, obviously. But Drew Brees, on the other hand, I think with the recent success or not success of the Saints in the recent years of playoffs, I think that he has more to prove in the playoffs.
Agreed.
You feel me? So I think that I think a loss would affect him more negatively than Tom Brady would.
I agree with that.
Yeah, for sure.
I think I don't know. I don't really necessarily think it would be something to look at if Tom Brady loses to Drew Brees 3 times in the season necessarily. I mean it'll be a blemish, but I mean it's nothing too crazy when you think about 6 rings. But as far as the aspect of Drew Brees and the talent that he's had accumulated over the years, and your last Super Bowl appearance was 2009. Was the 2009-2010 season. So you've had falters, you've had disappointments. So I definitely feel as though Drew Brees has a lot more to prove, and they're the expected favorites. So if they lose again,
and they've been a favorite a lot of the last couple of years.
So if they lose again, I think it's a hit to not only Drew Brees but Sean Payton's legacy. So
I'm not going to take away that miracle in Minnesota though.
I'm not going to do that. But at the same token, why y'all playing man to man? Why my man got a one-on-one play? But then again, my man dove at nothing. But
that's not Drew. That's what I'm saying.
That's not Drew Brees' fault. It's not Drew Brees' fault.
I'm not counting that. Right. They should have won that game. But
I mean,
who knows what happens? Who knows what happens if they win that game?
Of course. But I don't say that. But it's also to say that this is why I say it's upon both of them, because they have such an explosive offense during the regular season. We haven't seen it in the playoffs thus far. Even against this in the last past game, they only scored 21 points. Like. Okay, that's good against the Bears, but I don't think they're going to beat the Bucs by scoring 21 points.
Not at all. Not this Buck that we've seen the last few weeks.
So, we'll see. Who was the MVP? Who's the MVP?
Now, I can't pick one person individually as an MVP because I think everybody had their moments. Now, and it's easy to say Lamar Jackson, people are going to go to Baltimore. I'm going to go on a different spin to Baltimore. I'm going to say that the Baltimore Ravens defense is the MVP. The whole defense is the MVP. Simply because of what they did with 18 carries, 40 yards. That was the game. That was, to me, the game. And then, obviously, Lamar Jackson, he could hit holding, the best running back in the game right now to 40 yards when he's demolished them in the recent past. I think that was like the biggest aspect of that win. So to me, I'm gonna go with the Baltimore Ravens defense.
Y'all know where I'm going. MVP was the MVP of last year, Lamar Jackson. He clearly proved he was the best player on the field in a game where they needed him. They were down 10. It was not looking good. I agree with him. The defense definitely showed up, but I mean, y'all grown men. Y'all can't keep letting this grown man punch y'all in the mouth. And Baltimore has always been known for being a tough-nosed defense. Regardless, once Ed Reed left or once Ray Lewis left, they have still kept that mantra. So you have to take onus and leadership and pride in your defense at some point. And I feel as though that's all they did. I feel as though Lamar Jackson just proved he was the best player in the playoffs this past weekend. And if he can prove that again, he will move on. But for me, it was Lamar Jackson.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I appreciate you coming on, cousin.
It's been a while, man.
It's been a good minute, You got to come back for the divisional round.
He was quarantined and shit.
Of course,
I'm back, baby. I'm out now.
And he here, baby. You feel what I'm saying?
I'm out now,
but actually, we might link up or maybe even try to do a little quick live for y'all to give y'all our predictions. But we'll definitely get back to y'all for the divisional review. You know what I'm saying? Thanks for coming through, cuzzo.
Already know, cuzzo.
Y'all already know what it is, man. Make sure y'all follow Vern Knowledge on Instagram. All the info will be there. Y'all know what it is, MadMizzy Sports. I don't know why I keep saying y'all know what it is, but MadMizzy Sports. Like, comment, share. Who was the MVP this past weekend? Will a loss for Tom Brady or Drew Brees affect their legacy? And then, are the Steelers and Big Ben done? Like, comment, share.